Hello, hello, tribe. Welcome back to the mat. And welcome to a fiery Vinyasa flow to release fear and embrace love. If you'd like to read more about this theme, you can click the blog post in the description below. But basically it comes from this school of thought that all of our emotions and feelings stem from one of two places, either from a place of fear or a place of love. So emotions like anger, greed, jealousy all come from this place of fear. And emotions of joy and happiness, abundance, all come from a place of love. So as you move through this practice today, some poses might get a bit uncomfortable. You might feel like you don't want to push yourself into certain poses, and I invite you to ask yourself whether those feelings are coming from a place of fear. So you're afraid of falling or you're afraid of pushing yourself forward, or if it's coming from a place of love, knowing that you have reached your edge and you maybe need to pull back a little bit. So that is our theme for this practice. In terms of props, you might want a block handy, having it nearby for a couple of the poses. It's not absolutely necessary, but if you know that generally you like to have a block handy, then please do have a block handy. And lastly, before we dive right in, please make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel for more free yoga. All right, that's about it. Go ahead and unroll your mat and let's get started. So we're going to begin this practice in a child's pose. It is up to you if you'd like to open the knees wide or if you'd prefer to keep the legs together, depending on what feels good on your hips and your legs and your back today. So decide what works best for you and begin to melt the torso down, bringing the forehead onto the mat. I'm taking just a few breaths here, settling into the breath. And if you're familiar with Ujjayi breath, you can begin to turn that on. And seeing if you can keep the Ujjayi breath going throughout the practice today. And always coming back to the breath. Go ahead and extend the arms long in front of you if they are not already, and begin to press down into the palms. Press so firmly into the palms that the elbows lift off of the earth. Continue pressing into the palms. As you lift the forehead off the earth, you can keep the gaze down, and from here begin to walk the fingertips over towards the left. Once you've walked them all the way over, you can bring the forehead back down onto the earth as you feel the stretch in the right side of the body. Press into the palms, lift the forehead, walk the hands through center and then all the way over towards the right. And again, bringing the forehead down, feeling the left side of the body expand. And press into the palms, lift the forehead, and walk back to center. And from here, make your way into a tabletop position. And we'll come into a twist here. So begin to lift the right hand off the earth and then thread the right arm underneath the left, bringing the right shoulder onto the earth. The right side of the head will come onto the earth. The left palm can stay flat on the ground right in front of the face, or you can extend the arm long over the ear if that feels good. You can maybe come into a half bind, wrapping the arm behind the back. Whatever feels good for you on that arm. And if you took a variation with the left arm, bring the left hand back in front of the face, press into the palm as you lift out of the twist. Coming into the other side, left arm will thread underneath the right, bringing the left shoulder down, and the left side of the head will come down. And again, taking any variation that feels good with the right arm. So trying to come into whatever variation you came into on the other side. If you took a variation with the right arm, bring the right hand back in front of the face, press into the palm, undo your twist. And from here, we're going to come into some baby chaturangas. So walk the hands forward slightly so that you are kind of in a longer tabletop position. So not quite a modified plank, but not quite tabletop, somewhere in between. Bring the gaze towards the front edge of your mat, so nice long neck. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, lower halfway, bringing the shoulders in line with the elbows. And then press back up. Yeah, beautiful. And then come on back down halfway. And press back up. Keep the belly firming up and in. One more like this, lower halfway. And lift. Beautiful. From here, go ahead and make your way into downward facing dog. Tuck the toes, lift the knees and the hips. Feel free to pedal out the feet. Take any movement that feels good for you here. Checking in with the calves and the hamstrings. I find that downward facing dog is a good kind of indicator for me of where my body's at the start of any practice. So tune into your downward facing dog and see what it has to say to you. On an inhale, come forward into your plank pose. Shoulders right above the wrists. Belly firming up and in. The gaze is towards the front edge of your mat. Legs are active. Take one more inhale here. And exhale, press back, downward facing dog. Inhale, come forward, plank pose. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, plank pose. Exhale, downward facing dog. Last one. Inhale, come forward into plank and slowly lower yourself all the way onto the earth. We'll come into some cobra waves here. So you're going to bring the hands out wide, tenting the fingers in your cupcake hands. The forehead can come onto the earth. You're going to lead with the shoulder blades pulling back towards each other. So as you inhale, pull shoulder blades back and use that to initiate this cobra roll, uplifting the chest and then the head. And as you exhale, roll all the way back down. Inhale, roll up. Tops of the feet are pressing firmly into the earth. Exhale, roll down. One more, inhale. And exhale to lower.
Bring the arms by the sides of the body. Turn the palms to face down. We're coming into Shalabhasana, locust pose. So the feet come together to touch. Keep them zipped together as much as possible. On an inhale, the feet are going to reach for the back wall so much that the legs are going to lift, and you'll pull shoulder blades towards each other so much that the chest and shoulders lift. So inhale to lift everything up. And from here, maybe turn the palms so that they're facing outwards, the thumbs turning up, really encouraging the shoulder blades to pull back towards each other. Take one more inhale here. And exhale, release. You can bring one hand on top of the other, forehead onto the hands. Wiggle hips side to side, let that go. And from here, come back into your tabletop position. So we'll stack the shoulders right above the wrists and the hips right above the knees. And from here, go ahead and extend the right leg straight back behind you. So you're reaching through the right heel, the toes are pointing down. Keep an active right leg as you extend the left arm straight out in front of you. Notice if the belly starts to sag a little bit here, press the navel back towards the spine. So imagine closing the space between the hips and the lower ribs. Take an inhale here. As you exhale, bring knee to the elbow underneath you, round the back, press the earth away with the right hand. Inhale, extend. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale. Exhale, round. Inhale, extend. Lower the left hand down. Keep the right leg long, but bring the right toes onto the earth. From here, bring the left shin out towards the left and come onto the inside edge of the right foot. We're coming into a side plank variation, so the right arm is going to lift towards the sky. Gaze can come up towards the right hand. Now from here, so you're in a side plank variation with the left knee down, begin to lift the right leg so the hips are open towards the side of your mat. So you're in a half moon shape, but on the knee. Now maybe you begin to bend the right knee, reach for the right foot with the right hand, and press the foot into the hand as you open the chest. This is your Shavasana variation on the knee. Gently, without slingshotting the foot, release the right foot. Bring the right toes back onto the mat, right hand to the earth, and come back into tabletop position. We'll take all of that on the other side. So left leg extends long behind you. Toes point towards the earth. Reach through the left heel. Right arm extends forward. Navel to spine. Take an inhale here. Exhale, round the back. Bring elbow to the knee. Inhale, extend. Exhale, elbow to the knee. Inhale, open. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, extend, lower right hand down, and bring the left toes down, keeping the left leg long. Bring the right shin out towards the right and come onto the inside edge of the left foot. Left arm is going to reach high for the sky. So here you're in your side plank variation. Press firmly into the right arm. So notice if the right shoulder is coming up by the right ear, pull the shoulder away from the ear. Press the earth away as you reach up with the left arm. From here, begin to lift the left leg. So here you are in your half moon pose on the knee. You can stay right here, maybe play with bending the left knee, reaching for left foot with left hand, and pressing the foot into the hand as you open up the chest. Gaze can be lifted, or you can bring the gaze down if that feels more comfortable. And then gently release the left foot, extend, coming out the way we came in, left foot down, left hand down, back into your tabletop position. Take a couple rounds of cat-cow here. Inhale, drop belly, lift gaze and tailbone. Exhale, round the spine. One more like that.
And then from here, you can tuck the toes, lift knees and hips, coming through your downward facing dog, and then walking the feet up towards the hands. Find hip width distance between the feet. Bring a bend into the knees. Let the torso and head hang heavy here. Taking just a few moments to kind of let yourself hang loose. You can hold opposite elbows if that feels good. Maybe find a gentle sway in the torso. And from here, if you were holding opposite elbows, go ahead and release hands to the earth. As you inhale, lift halfway, lengthen crown of the head forward. And exhale, fold. Inhale, lift halfway. As you exhale, stay right here. Bring hands onto hips, keep a bend in the knees, and then come all the way up to stand with a flat back. And bring the big toes to touch, coming into your Tadasana mountain pose. So we'll come into a Surya Namaskar C with a bit of a shoulder opener. So in your Tadasana mountain pose, go ahead and hook the thumbs in front of the body, a gentle bend in the knees, and as you inhale, you'll swoop the arms up, finding a gentle back bend at the top. On your exhale, you'll find that gentle bend in the knees as you fold forward, swoop the arms all the way around behind you, clasping the hands as you fold. Take an extra breath here in this fold, opening the chest and the shoulders, really pulling the shoulder blades back towards each other. Go ahead and lower hands onto the earth. Step the right foot way back. Open the chest towards the front of your mat. Plant the palms, step the left foot back, downward facing dog. Inhale, come forward into plank pose. And on your exhale, lower the knees, lower the chest, lower the chin. Inhale, slide forward, cobra pose, baby cobra, so not lifting up too high. And exhaling back into downward facing dog. Step right foot in between the hands, lift the chest, lift the gaze, and step left foot up to meet the right, fold forward. Hook thumbs in front of the body, gentle bend in the knees. Swoop the arms up as you inhale, find that gentle back bend. Exhale, come right back down, arms swoop all the way behind you, clasping the hands as you fold. Releasing hands onto the earth, stepping left foot way back this time. Opening chest towards the front of your mat. Plant palms, step left foot back, downward facing dog. Inhale, come forward, plank pose. Exhale, knees, chest and chin. Inhale, slide forward, baby cobra, pull shoulder blades back. Exhale, downward facing dog. Left foot steps between the hands, open chest to the front of the mat. Step a right foot up to meet the left as you fold. Hook thumbs in front of you, inhale. Lift up, open the chest towards the sky. Exhale, hands through heart center, and release by your sides. Taking a couple of breaths here. And asking yourself what it means to move from a place of love, both on the mat and off the mat. Coming into Utkatasana chair pose, bend the knees deeply, lift the arms so the weight is in the heels. Should be able to see the toes just past your knees. The pubic bone pulls up towards the navel gently, so we take some of the arch out of the low back. The arms reach high by the ears. Take an inhale here. As you exhale, legs are going to stay where they are. Lower the torso, bring the arms back, half chair. Inhale, legs stay where they are. Lift the torso, lift the arms. Exhale, halfway. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Stay with it. Inhale. Exhale, Ardha Utkatasana. One more. Inhale.
Exhale, this time bring the arms all the way behind you, straighten the legs, clasping the hands as you fold. Release the hands onto the mat. Take an inhale to lift halfway, lengthen the crown of the head forward. As you exhale, plant the palms, and you can step or hop. Make your way back through a vinyasa, so coming into plank, lowering halfway, opening the chest, taking the vinyasa any way that you'd like, making your way into downward facing dog. From your downward facing dog, the right leg lifts up and back, nice and high. Exhale, bring knee to the nose, round the spine. Inhale, lift up and back. Exhale, knee to the nose, shift the weight forward. Inhale, lift the leg. Exhale, knee to nose. And from here, shift forward even more. Step the foot between the hands as quietly as you can. Left heel comes down. We're coming into warrior two, so set yourself up, heel to arch alignment. When you feel ready, lifting the torso, extending the arms in opposite directions. So hips, chest are facing the side of your mat, and the gaze will come over front middle finger. So really feel as though you could wrinkle up the mat underneath you. So feel like you could pull the feet towards each other. So turning on the inner thighs here in this warrior two. And then go ahead and straighten the right leg. You're going to reach forward with the right arm as far as you can reach while maintaining the chest facing the side of your mat. Right arm is going to come down. You can bring it onto a block if you'd like, or rest it on the shin as the left arm extends to the sky. And the gaze will be up towards the left fingers, if that's okay, on the neck. The torso is going to stay pretty much where it is. Begin to bend the right knee, coming into side angle pose. So the right forearm can come onto the right thigh, or you can bring the right hand to the inside of the right foot or onto a block. And the left arm is going to extend long over the left ear, reaching forward with the palm facing down. And the gaze is lifted, kind of like you're trying to smell your own armpit. It's kind of where the head is in this pose. Keep the engagement in the legs really active. And then from here, use the obliques, begin to lift the torso, coming back into warrior two. Straighten the right leg, turn the right toes so they are parallel to the left toes. Bringing hands onto hips. We're coming into a wide-legged forward fold. So take an inhale to extend sternum to the sky. And as you exhale, hinge at the hips, lead with the chest as you fold forward. The hands can come onto the earth. You can bring them in line with the feet if that's available to you. Notice if you tend to dump all of the weight in the heels, and play with bringing some of the weight into the balls of the feet, seeking out that sweet spot right in the center of the feet, nice and evenly distributed weight. We're coming into a skandasana from here. So bring hands under shoulders. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Turn the right toes in. The right heel in. The right toes are out. And then turn the left heel in as well. And begin to bend deeply into the right leg as the left toes point up to the sky. Skandasana. So you might not be able to bring the right heel onto the earth, and that's totally okay. You can keep that lifted. You might want to keep the hands on the earth for balance. If you feel nice and steady, you can bring hands to heart center. Wherever you are, make sure that you're reaching the sternum towards the sky and the tailbone towards the earth. So really lifted chest.
From here, we're coming into warrior two at the back of the mat. So look at your left toes. Your left toes are going to point straight back. Begin to bend into the left knee. And then turn the right foot so that the outside edge of the right foot is parallel to the short edge of your mat, so to the front of your mat. Set up the legs, warrior two. Arms are nice and active. Again, imagining you could wrinkle up the mat in between the legs, turning on the inner thighs. And then straightening the left leg, coming into triangle pose. So the left arm is going to reach long, bringing the torso long over the left leg. Left hand comes down onto shin or block, maybe the ground if that's available to you. Right arm extends up to the sky. The gaze will come up towards the right hand if that's okay on the neck. Totally okay to keep the gaze straight forward. Notice if you are overarching in the back, pull the navel towards the spine, keep the belly active here. And the legs are really awake, so make sure you're not locking out the knees. From here, side angle pose, bend the left knee. You can bring left forearm onto thigh or left hand to the inside of the foot as the right arm extends long over the right ear, palm facing down, reaching forward. Chest is spinning open towards the side of your mat. And you're in warrior two legs, so the same activity you feel in your warrior two, you should maintain here. From here, coming back into warrior two, lifting the torso, legs stay where they are. And then straighten left leg, turn the left toes so they're parallel to the right. Hands onto hips, take an inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold. Notice if all the weight goes into the heels as you fold, and see if you can bring that weight right into the center of the feet while you're folding towards the earth. Hands come down. Bringing hands under shoulders, lengthen the spine long. Turn left heel in, right heel in, bend into the left knee, right toes point up to the sky, Skandasana. Again, taking the variation the way it works for you. You can keep hands on the earth or you can bring hands to heart center. Either way, looking for a really long spine, crown of the head reaching up towards the sky. And from here, we're coming into a goddess pose. So bring hands onto the earth. Bring the weight right in the middle of your feet. Keeping the heels facing in, the toes facing out. Start to bend deeply into the legs. When you feel nice and steady, you'll lift the torso, keeping that bend in the legs. Lift the chest. So you want to press the thighs out. So avoid letting the knees buckle in. You want to be pressing them out as much as possible. Go ahead and clasp the hands behind you. Pull the fists towards the earth as you open the chest. From here, we're coming into a twist. Stay with the legs. Bring both fists over towards the right hip. The left hand is going to kind of hook onto the top of the right thigh, and the right forearm will come onto the right thigh. And you'll open more towards the front of your mat, or the side of your mat rather, lifting the gaze up towards the left, over the left shoulder. Stay in the legs. Ask yourself if you want to run away from this pose, and if so, where is that sentiment coming from? All right, go ahead, lift to center, straighten the legs, give them a break for a moment. And then come back into it, clasping the hands behind you, opening the chest. Coming to the other side, so bring both fists over towards the left hip. The right hand will kind of hook onto the upper left thigh, left forearm to the left thigh. Open up, lifting the gaze over the right shoulder, stay in the legs. And then release, come to center, parallel the feet. Clasp the hands behind you once again, open the chest, and as you exhale, fold over the legs, trying to bring the weight into the balls of the feet.
And then from here, go ahead, come all the way up to stand. We're going to stay in these straddle legs for just a little bit longer. So make sure that the feet are parallel to each other. So the toes are pointing straight towards the long side of your mat. From here, go ahead and lift the arms up by the ears. So you're really going to need to turn on the inner thighs for this one. We're going to lower just halfway. So the arms are going to stay next to the ears as you lower, hinging at the hips halfway. And we're going to stay right here and breathe. Reach forward. Just 2 more breaths right here. 1 more. Come all the way up to stand. Beautiful. And then release the arms. Coming into warrior 2, facing the front of your mat. Turn the right toes to face forward. Left toes should be pretty much where they need to be. Bend into the right knee, warrior 2. From here, we're coming into half moon pose. So bring the left hand onto the left hip. The right hand is going to come down onto the earth. Bring it 2 spaces in front of the right foot and 1 space out towards the right. You can heel toe the left foot in a little bit. And then gradually begin to lift the left leg. You want the hips open towards the side of your mat. The right hand should be about underneath the right shoulder. Feel free to bring a block underneath that hand if it makes this easier on the balance for you. Left leg is active, reaching towards the back of your space. And if that feels okay, the left arm can come up. Maybe you can turn the gaze up towards the left hand. So this is that half moon shape that we visited on the knee. If this is way too much for you, feel free to bring this back onto the knee and take it here. That's totally cool. And the same way we did on the knee, maybe you can play with bending the left knee, reaching for the left foot with the left hand, pressing the foot into the hand, opening the chest, coming into your shavasana variation. And then gently, without slingshotting the foot, release it long. Step the left foot way back. Come back into your warrior 2. Straighten the right leg. Turn the right toes so they are parallel to the short edge of your mat. Turn the left toes towards the back of your mat. Warrior 2 facing the back of your mat. From this warrior 2, we'll come into half moon. Right hand to the right hip. Left hand comes down. 1, 2 spaces in front of the left foot. 1 space towards the left. Heel toe the right foot in until you can lift it off the mat. Straightening the left leg. Hips open, chest open to the side of your space. Right arm up. Maybe the gaze comes up. The lifted leg is super active. You can stay right here. Maybe play with bending the right knee, reaching for right foot with right hand, and maybe pressing the foot into the hand as you open the chest. And then gently release the right leg. Bend deeply into the left knee. Step the right foot back. Warrior 2. Beautiful. And then straighten the right leg. Turn the left toes parallel to the back of your mat. Right toes face the front of your mat. And then cartwheel the hands to the earth. Step the right foot back, plank pose. Take a vinyasa here. We'll meet in downward facing dog. On an inhale, look forward between the hands. Exhale, step or hop the feet to the top of the mat. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees deeply, lift the torso, Utkatasana chair pose. We're coming back into this chair, half chair flow. So find your chair pose, feel really steady in the legs. Sit down low, take an inhale here. Exhale, lower the torso, bring the arms back, stay low in the legs. Inhale, lift the torso and the arms. Exhale, halfway. Inhale. And exhale. 2 more, stay with it.
You've got just one more. Inhale, lift. And then straighten the legs. Lower the arms by the sides of the body. Close the eyes and breathe. Bring the left hand over the heart and the right hand over the left. Take a moment to feel the heart beating underneath the hands. And to ask yourself what it means to move from this space, to breathe from this space. Gently open the eyes. We're coming back into Utkatasana. Bend into the legs, lift the arms. And then from here, sit your seat down low, a little bit lower. Inhale. Sit down a little lower. Inhale. A little bit lower. Inhale. And a little bit lower. We're just going to sit. Coming all the way onto your seat. Navasana boat pose. Make sure you are sitting up on sit bones and you're not rolling back on tailbone. You want a really long spine, a lifted chest, feet flat on the mat. Hands come behind the thighs. Begin to lean the torso back as you lift the feet off the mat. Feet can stay parallel with the knees. Maybe you can play with straightening the legs. Hands can stay right here behind the thighs. Maybe you play with extending the arms. Maybe you can play with extending just one leg and then the other. Notice if you're feeling this mostly in your quads, that means you've got to fire up the belly a little bit more. One more breath here. And release. Bring the feet onto the earth. Hug the legs, bringing the forehead towards the knees. Let that go. And from here, we'll come onto the back for a bridge pose variation. So go ahead and make your way all the way back onto your back. And we'll set up the feet for a bridge pose. So bring the feet in towards your seat. If you extend the arms next to you alongside the body on the floor, you should be able to graze the backs of the heels with your middle fingers. Now go ahead and begin to press down into the feet as you lift the hips up towards the sky. And we're going to bring the hands underneath the low back. So start to snuggle the shoulders underneath you, lifting the hips higher as you bring the hands to rest underneath the low back. So you're kind of supporting yourself with the hands. So allow the thumbs to point up towards your upper back with your other four fingers splayed out towards the side. And then from here, press firmly into the left foot. Lift the hips high. Begin to lift the right foot up and extend the right foot towards the sky. You should really be feeling this in the left quadricep. Press down into the left foot. Bend the right knee. Bring the right foot down. Press into the right foot. Lift the left foot up. And then the left foot to the sky. Extend the leg long. Hug the right leg towards the midline. Don't let it splay out. And then bend left knee. Bring left foot onto the earth. You can keep the hands right here, or you can release them, clasp them underneath you. Press into the hands as you reach the hips towards the sky for another breath. And then releasing the hands and rolling yourself down vertebra by vertebra until the hips come to rest on the earth. Bring your feet as wide as your mat and allow the knees to knock in towards each other like you're embarrassed. Coming into a happy baby, feet up towards the sky, reaching for the inside or outside edges of the feet and pulling them towards the earth. Maybe coming into a gentle rock side to side. We did a lot of work on the inner thighs today. So taking a moment to stretch that out. And then releasing the feet, and then extend the legs long, allowing the feet to be as wide as your mat, maybe a bit wider. And releasing the arms by the sides of the body, allowing the palms to face up. Take a big breath in through the nose, breathe in love. Open the mouth, breathe out fear. 2 more like this, breathe in love. Open the mouth, release fear. 1 more, breathe in love. Release fears. And taking a few moments here for shavasana, allowing the breath to flow naturally in and out of the body. And as you lay in your shavasana, I invite you to consider what the rest of your day would look like if you move from a place of love throughout it. It's not to say that fear-based emotions won't crop up, because they might. But making the conscious choice not to attach to those fear-based emotions, not to follow them down the fear-based rabbit hole, so to speak. Can you meet those emotions from a place of love? If you have more time to stay here in Shavasana, please do so. Otherwise, you can begin to bring some gentle movement into fingers and toes, to wrists and ankles,
Extending the arms long overhead. Take a nice long stretch like you just woke up. And then bring feet flat onto the mat and then roll onto the side of your choice. And taking just a moment here. And then using the top hand to help press you up, make your way into a comfortable seat. Bringing the palms to touch at heart center and bowing the head gently towards the hands. May you move today from a place of love and not from a place of fear. Thank you for allowing me to lead you in practice today. Namaste.